Mini wins come out of a very specific champion of North America with these two starting on B side. Gangstars following suit on that powerhouse. Now we do look at SK Gaming picking up the Sky. If you don't have Bright Bulwark against you, Sky does have a lot more flexibility in the team fights, but what they round it out with will be really important because the last pick for Gangstars can be a complete mystery.
It's going to be really interesting to see the Lance Sky matchup. That's one of those things that if the Sky can avoid the Impale, Sky can really dance circles around it. But if a single Impale lands on the Sky, Sky's pretty much dead. Kroll going to be the final pick here for SK though.
Yeah, the Kroll actually ganks and team fights with the slow coming out of Lyra can be very devastating. I would only assume we're going to see the Sky in lane. There's going to be a lot of opportunity to move very quickly to the enemy, to go Suri strike over or to use a portal in. So Gangstars has to decide what they finish this out with, and it is a Arden. So we're going to see the Arden, the Lance, and Adagio, such a strong comp that we've seen in the other championship, into a more unique style from SK.
Yeah, triple roam, guys, but courtesy of the Milky Way Galaxy, it's going to be Humanist and Excoundrum.
All right, thank you very much for Court Jester, our analyst, breaking down that draft so wonderfully. Excoundrel, game one, it was pretty hype, but coming in here, I think a little bit more firepower on both sides.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Cruel. Has always been that kind of pocket counter pick to an Adagio. Haven't seen it work well that many times thus far. Only when they've invested in damage. So I really want to see a breaking point first item for Raph here. I know what Raph's like. I know he likes to be aggressive, so I'm assuming to see that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was talking with Raph about his playstyle, what he likes to build, things like that. And his favorite heroes, he just said he likes these high damage dealing, but frontline tanky kind of heroes. That's why he likes the Rhyme. That's why he likes the Kroll. So I'm sure he's going to go quite hard in this game.
Absolutely, but Iraqi Zorro has had a lot of games on Adagio throughout this championship. So expect him to have a fairly large impact on this particular hero. But Techno JJ and Netole Arden Lance combo here. Hard hitting, lots of CC. Should have a pretty good early duel versus Bayou and Raph as well, if they manage to land their Impale.
You know, you can make arguments for so many different compositions to go with this core Lance, but Arden is my personal favorite. We talk about it as being a bit of a slingshot, and if you can give that extra durability to this Lance and a little bit of move speed, what can he not accomplish?
Exactly. You know, you either power him in with that Vanguard to get the Impale, or you do it afterwards to allow him to land multiple basic attacks. It's a very strong combination, and plus, Lance loves to fight in these arena-style, boxed-in environments, and well, Gauntlet does exactly that.
Exactly. And you even look at it paired up with the Adagio. Adagio, not that mobile of a hero, so if you can give him that little bit of a bonus move speed, he'll be able to chase those targets down.
I always like to think Lance is like the fire delivery system, especially when you have the Gauntlet in there as well. You throw the Gauntlet down, Lance goes in with the Impale, Gift of Fire is one of the best ways to deliver that to multiple targets, especially if they get locked up in the Impale. So there's a nice little combo going on here for Gangstars.
Yeah, we'll see if they'll be able to extinguish that fire. I'm sure Lyra's going to be able to control that area. It's actually kind of interesting when you see the Gauntlet, the Bright Bulwark can go down and oftentimes kind of negate the effectiveness of that.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Another thing that we have to recognize is that never count out Agent of Wrath's effectiveness during a team fight, especially on hit effects. Actually, that Toilette goes in very early here with Blood for Blood. Raph gets locked up.
Stunned to start off from Tetno as he slaps Raph in the face. No respect. He's going to move forward. There's your Vanguard. That's the slingshot we're talking about. Impale does land. The Sigil had healed up Raph, so he had a little bit of move speed, maybe just enough to get himself into a better position with that Bright Bulwark as well. Raph able to get himself out of that one.
Yeah, now Iraqi Zorro. Raph comes through.
Yeah, Raph, he's going to be locked on, but turns around. Tetno, dun-dun-dun-dun, I am here, and that is the first blood for Gangstars.
First blood right there, an over-aggressive Raph. Like you said, he loves that aggressive playstyle. Didn't respect that Tetno was literally only about 5 meters away.
Where was the respect?
Yeah, I know, like, oh, Tetno just bashed me out of the jungle. I know what I'm going to do. He's probably not made it to Kraken area yet. I'm just going to go straight on to Iraqi, but no, unfortunately punished for it by Tetno. Also, you've got to remember that Lance is one of the better heroes on hit effects. And we have one of those built into the kit of Adagio. Agent of Wrath can be super effective here if you give it to the Lance. You know, multiple people getting hit by well, literally his Lance. Obviously, it lands across multiple basic attacks. They can land across multiple targets in a line, so Agent of Wrath can be super effective in that scenario, especially if you get a multiple-man Impale.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's what SK really want to try and avoid. We talk about specifically the Lance into Sky. If you get locked down, you're so incredibly squishy, and perfect job out out of Bayou. He sees the aggression coming out of Techno out of that brush. He drops Bright Bulwark, and there's just no way to follow up on that.
No, especially with these two melee heroes that like to get the movement speed going before they make the engage happen, especially with Vanguard. I like that. I think Bayou is going to be MVP here for SK Gaming. If these Bright Bulwarks are going to be super crucial at keeping both Sky and in some senses Cruel safe. So definitely looking forward to seeing Bayou's play here. My only issue is that there's very good peel for Iraqi Zorro against the Cruel specifically. One Githyan Wall can essentially stop Raph in his tracks when he's trying to take out Adagio, and that could prove fatal to the chances of SK, but you do have a Crystal Power Sky coming through, so that always can, and we've seen it in the past, single-handedly carry sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very hit or miss on both sides. These guys, there are multiple ways that you could approach these fights. We'll have to see how they break it down, and barring these guys getting into an engagement here very soon, Excounter, well, let's see. Actually, Net looks like he wanted to rotate up the backside, did have that flare out, so he sees Bayou. A bit of a collapse coming in, but doesn't look like Gangstars can completely close the gap. Techno maybe looking for the impale if one of these targets lingers a little bit too long, but they're just hugging this turret. In the meanwhile, you do have Wrath in the jungle. He's going to secure up that minion mine. So both teams have captured their own, but Gangstars, they're just sitting here kind of attempting to siege, but not really getting too much done.
They don't have a good siege, though. I really don't think they should be trying to go into that particular scenario. They have great jungle fight. They should be trying to force objectives, make things happen in the enemy jungle, because you can see in a siege scenario, they're just going to get batted away by Cream, but Techno lands a big impale, but no follow-up for Gangstars.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel actually that it was very nice that Techno canceled off, realizing, very similar to Game 1, how Ringo was forced to hang out on the backside for SK, that Adagio maybe would put himself into a vulnerable position if he did move forward. So nice job there.
I think that the Gangstars game plan should evolve, but look at this. They've made a good play to come on the backside of Cream here.
Backside, Cream's in a vulnerable position, but a nice Surrey strike right there. Impale's gonna miss as well. Cream needing a lot of damage, though. Nice kill for Iraqi. That's 2 kills on the board for Gangstars. And you would assume that Cream would be able to get his way out of there, but no.
Let's look at the difference here in terms of early support items. A massive prioritization for Net2Elect to go straight for that fountain, whereas you're actually a fairly long way off the Bayou right now.
Raph rooted up, stunned in place. One more attack would have been enough, but the gift of fire is there anyways. 3 kills to none. SK really struggling the last couple minutes.
Can Gangstars bait them in? Can Gangstars say, wait a minute, we've got Fountain, maybe they don't know, maybe we can make them think that we're weak, go for
Not if you keep killing them.
No, yeah, I know.
Like that.
But there's always that chance of a turnaround on turret with how aggressive Gangstars are being as well. Now they're going into the enemy jungle, they have that Fountain as well. But they are just going to take away the healing camp and back off.
Now I ask you, Scoundrel, are Gangstars able to accomplish this pressure just because of the draft? We know Lance, he's so incredibly strong early, but Kroll should scale better than him. Is there a time where it should start to switch in the opposite direction?
Yes, if they continue the way that they're playing now, if they continue this hyper-aggressive movement in the later game, they might get punished for it. What I'd like to see from Gangstars is an evolution of tactics. I'd like to see them move from that hyper-aggressive lance looking for the impale towards a kiting lance using Githyan Maul to knock Cruel away and allowing Adagio to kite backwards. That's hopefully what we'll see from Gangstars. But as it stands, they can continue this aggression because they have the advantage. The more pressure they can put on now, the more rooms for mistakes they have as the game progresses.
Yeah, well, talking about mistakes, maybe SK making a mistake to not control the middle area of this map a little bit better. Look at the vision coming out of Gangstars right now. When you can control almost every brush around the middle part of this map, you know exactly what your opponents are doing, and the element of surprise is almost everything.
Oh, Cream just dodging out the impale there, but Techno JJ not had enough just yet. Bayou now has his own fountain, so things will be level pegging in terms of support item. But there is those boots coming out very quickly here for Gangstars. Movement speed so important to both Net2Elect and Techno JJ here.
Raph just trying to get that heroic perk up right now. He had completed the Shiver Steel as well. If he can get onto one of these targets, slow them down, Bayou can follow up with his Sigil. I think you can take one of these targets down, specifically if they can get on top of this Adagio right now. The biggest thing is Cream not getting caught, and that's going to be the gauntlet that you wish you never threw.
Yeah, that's the gauntlet that you definitely don't want to be seeing on a replay. He was trying to catch someone on just the edge of it, using the brush and the area of vision that they had to try and have a surprise gauntlet, essentially. Net2Elect goes in aggressive here.
I love what Net did. No, Net jumps in. That allows the Gift of Fire to go down. He can get himself back out. He's quite durable. Perfect.
In fact, there's something I didn't think about. 2 Gift of Fire delivery systems. both Blood for Blood and Impale allow that to happen, maybe even Combat Roll to it.
Yeah, I call it that's the Molotov cocktail strategy. You just get right in there, deliver that fire.
Well, there you go. And it certainly looks like it's working out for Gangstars.
It is quite well thus far. They're building up a small net worth lead, but I think they still need to keep on the gas here. But this is the whole siege pressure we're talking about, but they're not getting too much damage down onto the turret. Raph forced to hang out in this area. We'll see if they want to accomplish something here moving forward, or is this just full defensive tactics?
The problem with sieging with 2 melee heroes is that you're always going to be on the back foot compared to people who have got multiple ranged heroes, because you always have to commit yourself further towards that turret, which always lends the opportunity to take more damage for the defending team. So gonna lock up Cream here, massive damage.
Ooh, that's the slingshot coming through. Cream absolutely annihilated. Bayou could not save his ally. When the damage comes out like that, Impale will miss out of Techno, but it doesn't matter. Healed right up. And of course, the Vanguard will be coming available for this Arden any moment. Now, Raph forced to hang out up in the lane just to defend this turret. Sigil's coming out right now. Net eating a bit of damage, but they are trading on this turret. A lot of damage coming right back out. Net's very low, but holding that fountain. It's a double Impale. Bright Bulwark's down. Can they find the kill? Yes, they can. Turret as well. Gangstars getting everything.
Techno, JJ, give yourself a pat on the back. Those double Impales coming through once again for the lad. And he gets a huge amount of damage to that Sorrow Blade as well.
I asked Mowgli yesterday, I was like, how are you landing those 2-man Impales? You're just so godly. And he's like, well, when they stand together like that, I just throw my ability and no big deal.
And that's that Sorrow Blade as well. You know, Tension Bow also very good on Lance if you can land those kind of Impales. But, you know, they line them up with the Impale, you get a double stab with your basic attack, and with the Sorrow Blade, it's very hard hitting at this point in time. Plus, like you said, multiple Molotov cocktail delivery systems here. Lance was just the target of choice this time for Iraqi Zorro, and they were able to burn through. Very, very solid play from Gangstars right now. SK look on the back foot. They've got to turn things around or out of this.
How did they do that, though? What is the method? How do they get back into this game?
Stall like crazy, hope that Skye gets to a point where she's got 3 or 4 items and just can single-handedly carry. You need to just make sure that you're really respecting the range and the ability to engage from the Lance. If you can stop that Impale happening, you might have a chance to defend as much as possible. But right now, Raph getting very aggressive like this.
Yeah, it's Techno putting a lot of damage out on the turret. Death from above will land a stun, but Gauntlet's down.
3-man Gauntlet.
Bayou, the Impale, the stun right there as well. And Iraqi just chunking through Cream, but he stays alive. It's Raph locked onto Techno. Maybe not the target he wanted, but that's the target he chose. And they are able to turn around. Regoose, find the damage. That's the kill out. 6-0 for Gangstars, 11 minutes in.
Wow, and Gangstars turn around what looked like a pretty poor situation for them. Once they committed to Cream, you felt like they were on the back foot in that particular situation, but Raph, once again, isolating himself, got collapsed on by the retreating camp of Gangstars, and also the Githian wall there knocked him into the wall, so he got stunned up and allowed Iraqi Zorro to just come in, gift of fire to make sure Techno JJ stayed healthy, and then picked him off with those basic attacks. They need to be essentially just batting Gangstars back at this point in time. You know, if you get a fight that you don't end up dying in, that is a win right now for SK Gaming. They need to make sure that they're just buying time and getting gold through that ambient gold generation and through farming up as much as they can. The problem is that it's going to come to fighting for global objectives, which is going to snowball out of control for them, and that's going to be the real issue.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, we have Dr. Sona on the cast, but it should be Dr. Iraqi the way you describe it. He's just keeping his teammates healthy, and right now, they got to be very appreciative of that.
Nice pun, mate.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're still going here.
We're still going. We're not going to stop mid-cast, guys. Don't you worry, buddy.
Tap me out. Oh, these guys, it's really actually a position right now where you don't want to throw away the leads you have, so you got to be careful how you do continue to approach this. I imagine the Gangstars, they're just kind of biding their time until Kraken gets out on the map. They'll take fights where they can, but really no need to completely force a fight here.
Yeah, and also Gangstars, they can just force objectives at this point in time. They've got massive level advantage. They've got huge gold advantage. They can just starve out the enemy jungle, win through taking things like Goldmine and Kraken. They root up Raph here.
Yeah, Raph, can he get himself outside that the gauntlet? Yes, he can, but he's going to die right outside the gates anyway. Gangstars in a 3v2. Cream doesn't want to get impaled, but he is. The Githian wall to follow. They're diving under turret. Net eating quite a bit of damage, but holding on to that fountain. Has Atlas as well. It's going to be boots activated, and Gangstars, they apparently don't care about turrets at all.
Absolutely not, and why not if you manage to lock up the Cream in the impale. However, It was a nice pickup onto Raph, who once again takes a far too aggressive position for my liking. And Gangstars making the best of the situation. They take 1 kill and retreat, and now they can potentially look for gold mine. Now they can force fights with their massive level advantage, like I said. And either SK Gaming react and probably die in a teamfight scenario, or they just say, we have to give this up. And if they give it up, that's just going to give more and more forward potential for Gangstars and probably be sealing the game for them.
You know, Net is doing such a good job of these. I'm not going to count how many scout traps are out on the map right now, but I would love to have an actual counter to see the difference right here. But no matter where SK move, it's not going to be a surprise. Gangstars know everything.
They literally know every single brush, and actually Raph again runs in, maybe the target. There goes Net Toilette.
Oh, Raph, he doesn't have boots available. Bright Bulwark's going to be on cooldown for just a touch. Now Raki is vanguarded. He's going to be able to get himself into a better position. Raph's trying to lock on, but Verse is going to come out. Death Row buff right on top. Raph's still alive. Can he stay alive long enough?
How is he still alive?
My goodness
How is he still alive? Oh.
They will find the kill. Ridiculous streak coming out right here as Iraqi 7-0-1 Bayou. A little bit of CAC, but he's able to get himself out of that one. That was insane how long Raph was able to stay alive in that fight.
Yeah, but he just doesn't have damage right now. Like I said, he has had to prioritize defense. Shiver Steel and Aegis, he's only got a Blazing Salvo. There is literally, the only point of Raph at this point in time is to apply weakness stacks. He's not even really going to be a significant damage threat to Iraqi Zorro. And he's just not surviving through that collapsing damage coming out from Gangstars every time he tries to go in. And you saw how effective the Githian wall is against him there as well.
And the thing is, Net has an Atlas Pauldron, right? So if you get in there, you just Atlas him and go from there. It's quite easy. I mean, you imagine you almost have to block that for him to have an effect right now.
Exactly, and if I'm completely honest, Raph is...
Please, don't lie to me, baby.
Raph is a useless player right now on SK. He has almost no role.
Dang, I thought I was going to be the savage one.
No, it's not that it's anything to do with Raph. It's just the way he's built and the prioritization in terms of defensive items for Net Toilette. There comes the gauntlet.
Over the wall, Cream stunned up. Can they find the follow-up? Oh my goodness, Cream with the Suri Strike to reposition forward barrage. It's doing a bit of damage, but maybe not as much as he would hope. Now Raph in the front line, he is maimed up. That's the Atlas going to work, so a nice disengage from Raph. SK find a way out of that one, but my goodness, those gauntlets over the wall, they're so exciting.
Techno JJ's gonna go. I'm just doing my humanist impression.
No, you can't do it. It just sounds, well, no, I don't want to say it right now on stream. 9-0 Gangstars just absolutely dominating.
And the biggest issue for me is SK doesn't have damage. Like, even with this Eve of Harvest, which is built because Cream wants to try and sustain himself through the forward threat of Net Toilette and Techno JJ, just don't have the damage. Like, you can't even burn through that Gift of Fire healing coming out from Iraqi Zorro right now. And like I said, Raph is there to soak up damage and apply weakness stacks. And with just a singular damage threat with only 2 Crystal Power items, I don't see how they end up doing enough damage to kill anyone, especially with this double Aegis coming out for Iraqi and Techno.
Oh my goodness, you know, it's not every game that you're going to be able to draw a smiley face and win, but I feel like this is one where you potentially could get your scout traps down on the map. Net, he has so many. This guy didn't build a contraption. These are all just individual scout traps, and just such an incredible job. I got to give a lot of credit to Net this game.
Absolutely. Also, I like the Shiver Steel pickup. It's making Sky an easier target here for Techno JJ. Super... you know, I guess selfless in terms of what he's trying to do here. Cream gonna get locked up.
Oh, Cream gonna get chopped down. Cream! It's like he was trying to avoid the impale, but actually walks into it. The follow-up is massive, and you have to imagine that this is gonna be Gangstars pushing in for the win, barring some miracle.
And Raph locked up by the gauntlet there.
Yeah, the gauntlet just buying a bit more time. Kraken marching into the base. It's going to be on this Vein Crystal turret. Should be short to go down right here. Raph's going to move around on that surfboard. Impaled, rooted in place. The damage there to follow. One turret left right here. A Scoundrel making the funny eyes at me here in this back room. I need Sona back here to defend me.
To defend you? Well, I tell you what, Sona's got a lot of defense to do because Gangstars take the series 2-0 and SK out of the European Live Championships. Gangstars very happy. Iraqi comes into the land setting, low ping, performs out of his mind, especially on this Adagio, and they're going to be going forward Humanist.
Woo! I mean, these guys stretch it out, shake it out. Feels bad, man, for SK. These guys are quite talented. You know, they've put together this roster, maybe a roster that they hadn't played with as much throughout the season. Same kind of deal with Gangstars. We talked about Leon not being there, but, you know, they're able to pull out this victory and looked very good doing so.
They look decisive as well, and that seems to be the influence of Iraqi Zoro. He talked about it, he is their shot caller, he is their leader, and every play that I saw Gangstars make during this series looked decisive. And not only that,